aim of our experiment is to conduct the torsion test on the given cylindrical mild steel specimen and to find the modulus of rigidity of the material. And also we are determining what is the maximum shear stress corresponding to a particular torque that we have applied. The different equipments that is used for the study includes the Avery torsion testing machine, the specimen which is cylindrical in cross section, then the circular in cross section, and the vernier calipers for determining or measuring the diameter of the specimen. So coming to the theory part, so we are using the fundamental torsional formula to find out the modulus of rigidity and the maximum shear stress. So when a torsion is defined as the twisting of an object when a torque is applied on it. The torque also known as the twisting moment. So we are considering a bar or a rod which is held at one end, and we are applying a torque or twisting moment. So the unit of twisting moment is usually taken as a Newton meter, kilogram centimeter, kilogram meter, etc. So we are applying a torque at the end. That means the twisting. What will happen is, so see here, so the change in the axis. See here, it is twisted through an angle. Okay, so it is shown to an enlarged scale here. So the length of the specimen is L. And let capital R be the radius of the specimen. Then this theta, we say it as the angle of twist. Okay. Now, the principle says the solid circular mild steel rod, when subjected to twisting moment, shear stress will be set up in the plane of any transverse cross section of the rod. At sections perpendicular to the torque axis, the resultant shear stress is perpendicular to the radius of the cross section. Then on non-circular sections, torsion is accompanied by distortion or called warping. That means when we are applying a torque at the end, so if it is a solid circular cross section, we assume that it will be undergoing simply twisting or torsion. Whereas in the case of non-circular sections, it may undergo a bending. That means it may bend up or bend down. That is called warping. So here we are considering the absence of warping and only twisting is the result. So we can conduct either direct torsion test or we can conduct the indirect torsion test. In the direct torsion test, we are applying directly the twisting moment. The spring test that we are conducting is also to determine the modulus of rigidity of the specimen under torsion. But here we are applying, there we are applying only the axial load. And because of the particular shape of the spring, so the shear stress will be developed in the section, and that we are calculating the modulus of rigidity. Now today we are discussing the direct torsion test that is conducted on a circular cross section mild steel specimen. So this is the fundamental equation that we are using. The equation says that T by J is equal to tau divided by R is equal to n theta divided by L, where so this is similar to whatever we are using in the Fluxure formula, that is M by I is equal to E by R is equal to sigma by Y. You have used in your just previous experiment, that is called the Fluxure equation. This is called the torsion equation or torsional formula. Here in this equation, T is the applied torque. The unit of the torque will vary depending upon what is the unit that we are measuring using the machine that is available. So in our laboratory, the machine available measures torque in kilogram centimeter. J is called the polar moment of inertia of the specimen that we are using. It's a shape property, which is polar moment of inertia. J is equal to Ixx plus say Iyy, we usually, which are equal in the case of circular section, and Ixx and Iyy is equal to pi d raised to 4 by 64. So J will be 2 into pi d raised to 4 by 64. It will be pi d raised to 4 by 32 for a circular section. Then tau is the shear stress that is developed at a radial distance of small r from the center of the shaft. So that is clear from this figure. From the center of shaft at any point along this radius, we can find out what is the shear stress. As we move from the center, it increases and the maximum value will occur at the periphery, where small r is equal to the radius of the shaft. At the center, it will be 0. Now, capital N is the modulus of rigidity, which is equal to shear stress divided by shear strain, which will be having the same unit as that of the stress. Then L is the gauge length of the rod. That means the length at which the specimen is held down or fixed. That is called the gauge length. Then theta is the angle of twist, which can be measured using a graduated scale that is available along with the machine. Okay. While deriving this equation, so the actual assumptions that is made is the cross section of the shaft do not undergo warping, and hence a plane section will remain plane before and after the application of twisting moment. Then the shearing stress at any point of the cross section is proportional to the radial distance from the axis of the shaft and also to the length of the shaft. That means directly proportional. That shear stress is proportional to the angle of twist per unit length of the shaft. So these are the assumptions. So that is evident from this. So the T by J is equal to N theta by L. When we take, so that is theta is some way depends upon the applied torque, then this sectional property, length of the specimen. Then we take the last two, tau by R is equal to N theta by L. Tau is inversely proportional to the length of the rod, and it is directly proportional to the radius of the shaft or the radius of the point that we are considering. Here, see, after application of the twisting moment or torque, so this is the way in which the shear stress developed varies. So we know shear stress T tau is equal to N theta into R by L, or we can take the first two. Tau is equal to T into R divided by J. So if you are measuring the torque, and if we know the distance at which we are, we have to find the shear stress, then we can find this shear stress as T into small r divided by J. So T by J, when an applied torque, a particular applied torque we are considering, J is a sectional property which is not varying. So shear stress is proportional to R. That means as R increases, the shear stress also increases. That means the variation of shear stress is linear in nature. See here at the shaft, the last figure you see, that shows the variation of shear stress across the cross section. At the axis of the shaft, the shear stress developed is 0. When we move up to the periphery, top periphery, it increases and reaches a maximum value. Similarly, when we go down to the periphery, the that is again increases and reaches a maximum value. So this is the shear stress distribution across the specimen cross section. Now, this is a sketch of the machine that we are using for finding out the modulus of rigidity using applying this direct torsion. So we can see the different parts. So see here that it is written. So this is the base of the machine in which it is fitted. See here one chuck. So chuck means this is a portion into which the specimen is fixed. So the specimen is fixed in between these two parts, and it is tightly fitted by using this training shaft. So we can pull this one and make the specimen completely tight with the machine, and there is a particular arrangement or device that is available. First of all, the specimen is inserted to that particular arrangement, and this entire assembly is fitted into the machine. And this shows the loading measurement arrangement. So this is the scale that is available. We have a main scale that is available and a vernier. So I will show you what is the graduation on this by using a photo. So here this arm. So while taking the readings, the arm should be horizontal. Then only it will be showing the correct reading. Okay, so always make it horizontal before taking the reading. And when we apply the torque, so the torque can be applied by rotating this wheel. By rotating this wheel in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Both ways we can do that. Accordingly, it will move. So then this is the measurement of loading. So then a scale to read the torque that is applied. And we have here an mechanism or a device that is provided, a graduated scale provided for measuring the angle of twist. So during conducting the test, we are measuring the angle of twist as well as the torque that is applied. And we are using the torsional equation to find out the modulus of rigidity and also the shear stress responding to a specific torque applied. So this is the specification of the machine that is available in our laboratory. The make or the brand name is Avery. Then the maximum torque that can be applied is 15,000 kilogram centimeter. Then the least count of the machine, that means using the vernier, what is the minimum value that we can read is 5 kg centimeter. Then that's only is required for you. See, this is the overall appearance of the machine. See here, this is the place where we are fitting the specimen. Using this wheel, we can apply the torque. Then after application of the torque, we can read the torque on this scale. And we have a device as well as a telescope for reading the angle from this. See, this is the graduated scale. I will show you another photograph in which it is more clear. So from here, we are reading this angle using a telescope, which is in order to make it larger, because using the naked eye, we cannot measure it correctly. Okay, so there will be a lamp provided here for giving more clearance, for more brightness for the graduated scale. So this is the overall view of the machine, torsion testing machine. It is called a torsion meter. See here. So for starting, so this is the type of the specimen that we are using. It is a standard specimen, and this is the measurement of gauge length. So the gauge length we have provided with the 2 slots on either ends. So we are fitting this specimen into the device using the screws at these 2 slots. So measure the distance between these 2 slots. Also measure the diameter of the specimen. Okay. The diameter of the specimen is required for calculating the polar moment of inertia. So the diameter is measured using vernier calipers. So that is not shown because already you know how to measure the diameter. Now this is the device into which we are fitting the specimen first. First insert the specimen into this device and make it thoroughly fitted by adjusting the screws that are provided on either heads. It is provided with the screws. So this screw will be correctly fitting into the slot. See here, by arranging, moving this to an or keeping the specimen and moving it, we can correctly fix it to the slot. So this is the scale that is available for reading the torque. So this is the scale. I think it is visible for you. So here it is marked 0, 5. Then we see 1000, 2000, etc. So the 5 shows 5 graduations, larger markings that on the scale that is called. So each larger, this is the main scale. Lower one is the main scale and the top one is the vernier scale. Now look into the main scale. The main scale, we have the larger divisions are there and the smaller divisions are also in between. One larger division means 100 kilogram centimeter. That is divided into 2 parts by a smaller division. This smaller division is 50, half of that. That means 50 kg. So on the main scale, we can read a minimum value of 50 kg centimeter. I think you are following. On the main scale, we can read the minimum value of 50 kg centimeter as the torque. Now coming to the vernier, this 50 kg. So you know what is the purpose of vernier. One smallest dimension on the larger scale or the main scale will be divided into some specific number of parts in the vernier. So here one division is divided into again 10 parts. That means 50 kg centimeter is divided into 10 parts. Each part will measure 50 by 10, 5 kg centimeter. So the least count of the machine is 5 kg centimeter. So when we are writing the reading or entering the measurement, always it should be multiples of 5. And if you are entering some 3, 4, 2, etc., it's a wrong entry. Okay, always it will be multiples of 5. Okay. Now here it is 0, 0 adjusted. So the 0 coincides with the 0. Then when we apply the torque, this will be deviated. The vernier will move. So the 0 will be coinciding with some other value. I will show you. So that is available in a video. So I will show it later. So when we read it, it will change. So if it is placed at a location, see here, that means 4. That means the reading will be, this larger one means 100, 400. If it is here, see here, exactly coinciding with this particular division, then it will be 350, like that. So if the coincidence of 0 is somewhere here, it will be 600, 650, like that. So the main scale can read only up to 50. So 650, 700, 750, anything of that kind. That will be the main scale reading. Now, this 0 is exactly coinciding with that. Then we can take the reading as see here. If it is exactly coinciding with the 5, we can say 500 as the reading. Now we assume that it is shifted to this, it is between 5 and the next smaller division. That means it is something between this 5 and 50, 550. That means 500 and 550. So it will be a value less than 550 but greater than 500. Now what can be the value? Then what is it? That again you check with which one is actually coinciding with the low main scale reading. So the 0 coincide with somewhere here it is coming, okay, 500 something. Now we see that out of this one, the 6th one is coinciding with any one graduation here exactly. Then 6 into 5, that means 30 is the next reading. Then so our value will be 530. Like that we have to take the reading. I think you have followed. So first of all, see which the graduation is either completely coinciding or very near to the 0 reading. Now take see which graduation of the vernier is exactly coinciding with the main scale. Then number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. If it is 4, 4 into 5, that will be the graduation. That means 500 plus 4 into 5, 20. 520 will be the reading. That is the way in which we have to take the reading. Okay. So this is the scale on which we take the angle of test. Here also we have a main scale and also a vernier scale. So this shows the main scale. The green one shows the main scale. So it is it shows degrees in 1 degree, 2 degree, like that. So that is the main scale. So main scale smallest division is 1 degree. It is not so clear as in the case of the scale, but see here graduations. Just understand that it is graduated in degrees. The one smaller division on this main scale is 1 degree, and the vernier again it is divided into 10 parts. That means that on the vernier the least value that we can read is 1/10th of a degree. Okay, while conducting the test, what we do is we will fit the specimen into the machine. Then we will apply the torque using the wheel in order to vary the in order to move the graduation through 1 vernier scale degree. That means 1/10th of a degree move ചെയ്യുന്നത് വരെ നമ്മൾ wheel rotate ചെയ്യാം. Okay, so in order to have a better view of their visibility for this reading, we are keeping a telescope, and also that is properly lighted so that we can see the graduations correctly. And when we are moving the wheel in clockwise direction, it will be moving in one direction, and when we are applying the torque in the anti-clockwise direction, it will be moving the reverse way. So in both way we can do. The only thing is, if we are rotating once in the anti-clockwise direction, for the next also we have to rotate in the anti-clockwise. Continue rotating in the anti-clockwise direction at all the times. Okay, the procedure is like this. Fit the specimen. Now properly tighten it. Then make the torque scale 0, 0 by adjusting the tire weight that is present. Then graduated scale, the vernier is allowed to coincide with any main division, 1 degree division on this main scale. Then rotate the wheel either in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction to move through 1 division on the vernier scale. Okay, now we have applied the torque. Now initially the arm of loading will be horizontal. This loading arm will be horizontal when we start it. So I will tell you what is meant by a tire weight. It will be horizontal, make it horizontal by adjusting this tire weight. And when we do this one, we can make it. So this, see here, one smaller wheel is also here. That is also for adjusting this one. Bring it to the original position and make it 0, 0. Now in that case, it may not be horizontal in the initial stage. So make it 0, 0 by rotating this smaller wheel. Then I use this. This is called a tire weight. Then tire weight this way or that way we can move, so that the beam becomes completely exactly horizontal. തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എക്സാക്ട്ലി ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ ആയിട്ടാണ് തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഈ വീല് തിരിച്ച് നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഈ ബീം ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ പൊസിഷനിൽ നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഒരു ഡയറക്ഷനിലും ആന്റി ക്ലോക്ക് വൈസ് ഡയറക്ഷനിൽ തിരിക്കാന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ മുകളിലേക്കായിരിക്കും പോവുക. അപ്പോൾ മുകളിലേക്ക് ചെന്ന് ഇവിടെ തട്ടി നിൽക്കും. നമ്മൾക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഒരു ഡിഗ്രി, ഒരു 1/10 ഓഫ് എ ഡിഗ്രി തിരിയാൻ വേണ്ട ടോർക്ക് നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിന്റെ ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ പൊസിഷൻ മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ റീഡിങ്ങിന് മാറ്റമൊന്നും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. Then you stop the rotating the wheel. Now you rotate the smaller wheel so that this will move. That means to what extent? To the extent at which we have applied the torque. Now the reading will be changed. Now make it horizontal. നമ്മൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ ആയിട്ട് വരും. ആ ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ ആയി വരുമ്പോൾ take the reading on the load scale. So 1/10 of a degree is the theta value, and the t value we can directly read from the scale. Okay. Now you again turn the wheel so that it moves through another 1 degree, 1/10 of a degree. That means another 1 division on the vernier scale. Okay. Now again that will be horizontal position മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. Again rotate the wheel and take the reading. Like that it is continued till we take up to 10 measurements of the twisting as well as the torque. That is the procedure. So that is what is explained as the steps in the procedure. Then observations. In the observation, first observation is finding the diameter of the specimen using the vernier calipers. We will take 3 readings and take the average of the diameter. Then this is the table in which we have to enter the torque. So here see angle of twist in degrees, 1/10 degree, 2/10 degree, 3/10 degree. All these are known values. So we are first of all entering it. And the torque in kg centimeter, we are directly taking from the scale and entering into it. Okay, main scale division into 50 plus the vernier scale division into 5. That will be the torque in kg. So we are entering that one, and we are making a plot between angle of twist and torque. And from that, we are doing the calculation. In the calculation part, from the t theta, I will show you the t theta curve. The t theta curve, you take the as just like you take in the case of tension test, we have taken the load and the deformation from the curve by taking an intercept. Similarly, the plot will be horizontal, sorry, a linear or a straight line. Here we are not loading the specimen beyond its elastic limit. So we are only loading to a smaller extent so that it is not deformed. After taking up the load, we assume that the complete recovery of the torque is made and the specimen will be in its original position. Okay, so we are loading. So beyond the elastic limit, if we are moving, it may become a curved one. So here we are loading up to a certain extent only. So we are getting a straight line, plot a straight line, take an intercept. The vertical intercept will be t value, and the corresponding horizontal intercept will be theta value. Theta, while you are marking, it will be in degrees. You change it into radians or convert into radians by multiplying with pi by 180. So t theta curve, t and theta is taken. Then the modulus of rigidity n is equal to TL divided by j theta, in which t is measured from the graph. L is the gauge length. So for our specimen, it is 20 centimeter. Then J is the polar moment of inertia, that is pi d raised to 4 by 32, and theta we are taking from the graph in radians. Substitute and get the value of the modulus of rigidity. Similarly, for a particular, so this actually the shear strength of the specimen we cannot get from this experiment. You can get it from the experiment by loading to the maximum extent till failure. Okay. So, but since we are now for the time being, we are applying the torque for a certain extent only. So, we are calculating the shear stress corresponding to the maximum torque that we have applied. So, maximum stress will be occurring on the outer periphery of the. Why maximum stress? Maximum stress എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് ഇതിങ്ങനെ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ see here as the which is the location that we are taking അതിനനുസരിച്ച് സ്ട്രെസ് വേരി ചെയ്യും. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്ത ഒരു ടോർക്ക് say 2000 kg centimeter we have applied. What is the maximum shear stress corresponding to that? അതാണ് നമ്മൾ കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ 2000 T ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കും. സ്മോൾ r എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് റേഡിയസ് ഓഫ് ദി സ്പെസിമെൻ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കും. അങ്ങനെ എടുത്തിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന സ്ട്രെസ് ആണ് മാക്സിമം ഷിയർ സ്ട്രെസ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസ് നോട്ട് മീൻ ദാറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ദി ഷിയർ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ സ്പെസിമെൻ. അത് മാത്രം നിങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയാൽ മതി. ടോ മാക്സിമം കറസ്പോണ്ടിങ് ടു എ മാക്സിമം ടോർക്ക് ദാറ്റ് വി ഹാവ് അപ്ലൈഡ്. അതിന് നമ്മൾ ഏറ്റവും അവസാനം നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്ത ടോർക്ക് എത്രയാണോ അത് എടുക്കുക. ആർ ഇസ് ദി റേഡിയസ് ഓഫ് ദ സ്പെസിമെൻ ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ J is the polar moment of inertia. Using this one, you can calculate what is the maximum shear stress corresponding to that particular torque that we have used. Okay, that's all about the procedure. So next we shall see a video. Let me play it. I don't know whether it will work. Because the size is a little bit larger. Is the video visible for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will show it from the beginning. Here, here the specimen is already fitted into the device. Under this device, see here, this portion will hold the telescope, and we have to fit in such a way that it is in the upward direction. Okay. Now it is fitted to one end of the machine. and this other end should correctly fit into this slot that is available here. For that, we have to rotate this wheel and just move, and when it comes exactly at the position, check whether it is exact and pull this lever, push this lever so that it will be going into the slot. So this is exactly the machine available in our lab. See here the, okay, pull it like this. Then it is to be adjusted, ensuring that the slot is correctly placed. See here, push it. See, now the telescope is fitted onto the uh, device. And now the light is on. Now he is adjusting the scale to see that the graduations are clearly visible. See here, this is the main scale and this is the vernier scale, and that will be correctly placed so that so we have to turn this way and that way so that the graduations are clear. Now see, the arm is to be made horizontal under the 0 0. Now it reads 0 0. It should be made horizontal by adjusting the tire weight. Now he is applying the torque. The torque is applied in the anti-clockwise direction. So the beam is moving up. See here, the arm is moved up because of the applied torque. See, actually the torque is to be applied by looking into the telescope so as to see that it is moved through 1 degree graduation. So this he is checking whether the arm is moving and we are getting the reading, etc. Actually, look into the telescope, then rotate the wheel till it moves through 1 graduation. Now the arm, see here, make the arm horizontal by rotating the wheel so that there will be change in the reading. നേരത്തെ 00 ആയിരുന്നു, ഇപ്പോൾ അത് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യും നമ്മൾ ഈ വീൽ, ചെറിയ വീല് റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ. Exactly, make it horizontal. Now take the reading. See here, you can see the reading. So it is 404 divisions plus something. So the 0 coincide with this 4, and see exact coincidence, how it, what is the value at which the exactly the coincidence. See here, this is not coinciding, this is not coinciding. See here, the fourth one is coinciding. Okay, so our value is main scale reading is 4 larger divisions, 100, 200, 300, 400, then 400 plus something, 450 illa adinte edakkana. Okay, now the exact coincidence you check here, the fourth one is coinciding, then fourth one means 4 into 5, that will be the vernier scale, that is 400 plus 20, 420 is the reading that we are getting. Okay, now the beam is in the horizontal position. We have taken this reading 425. Then our angle of twist is 1/10 of a degree. Now continue the experiment. Rotate the wheel in the anti-clockwise direction, looking into the telescope. Then take rotate it till it moves through another graduation. That means 2/10 of a degree. Then the scale will be moved. So this vernier, then it will be changed from its horizontal position. Now stop rotating the wheel. Now rotate the smaller wheel so that the reading will be changed. We will get some around 600 or so as a reading. So 630 if it is the reading, then the graduation will be, the main scale 0 will be somewhere here between 6 and the next smaller division somewhere here. Then the sixth one will be coinciding with exactly with the 1 division. Then 6 into 5, that is 30 plus the 600. 630 will be the next reading. So like that, you continue taking the angle of twist as well as the torque till we get 9 or 10 divisions, readings. Sorry, 9 or 10 readings. Okay, that is the procedure. I will show you the graph also. I think the graph is visible for you. So here on the y-axis, you mark the torque in kilogram centimeter, and here it is 1/10 of a degree, 0.1 degree, 0.2 degree, 0.3 degree, and correspondingly we have the points and plot a straight line. Now from that you take one intercept. Here it is taken as a one intercept. It is equal to 88 divisions, that is 880 kilogram centimeter, depending upon the scale that you are taking. Here the number of this angle of twist is coming to be 0.74 degrees. So that you convert into radians. Now you can do the calculation. The n is equal to uh, T by J is equal to tau by R is equal to n theta by L. Then T by J is equal to n theta by L you take and find the value of n. Then for finding the maximum shear stress, use the other two relationships. T by J is equal to tau by R. R is the radius of this specimen and tau maxima you will get it. So ഈ കേസിലാണെങ്കിൽ മാക്സിമം വാല്യൂ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് 1200 ആണ് ഇതിൽ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഈ 1000 നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതാ റീഡിങ് തന്നെയായിരിക്കും ഞാൻ തരുന്നുണ്ടാവും. ഈ 1200 കറസ്പോണ്ടിങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ടോ മാക്സിമം ആണ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്നത്. സോ സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ടി ആസ് 1200. Our equation is TR by J. R you take the radius of the specimen, that also the readings also will be given to you. That's all about the experiment and the calculation. And if you have any doubt, you can ask now. Any doubt?